Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy, man. So I have not posted in about 2 weeks, and that's because I have been extremely sick, man. I was playing sword fight with my nephew, being the fun uncle that I am, and he chopped me in half. And he felt bad about it, so he went to give me a secret magic potion, and as he went to give me the potion, he put his little germy hand in my mouth. I got sick, bro. I'm talking strep throat, man. I could not talk, man. But, in the process, I've been watching a lot of NBA as of late. It's a very weird season. It feels like everybody's good, but also nobody's good. Like, it's a very close season here, man. And for today's video, what we have is one question every NBA team must answer at the trade deadline. Because, the trade deadline right here, this could be huge. Like, when it's this close like this, just the right move can really set you apart from the rest of the competition, man. So, yeah, let me know in the comment section below which one move you would like your favorite team to make. And let's check this out. And I'm going to give you guys my, my responses to these questions. That's how it would be done, right? Okay, Atlanta Hawks. John Collins, okay? Question, is it finally time to trade John Collins? You all should never even resign John Collins, man. Nothing against him. He's actually been kind of booty cheeks this season. Straight up, man. But I think right now the Hawks are on a 3-game win streak. It's just I don't know. I just don't think John Collins kind of fits the Atlanta Hawks culture and everything like that. And it's time to, he don't get along with Trae Young very well. It's time to get rid of him, man. I've been hearing Utah Jazz, maybe something like that. I'm not really sure. Boston Celtics. Can we count on Sam Hauser and Luke Cornett to be part of the playoff rotation? This Sam dude, bro, this dude can bust some damn threes, man. He got a nice stroke. I ain't gonna lie, but yeah, I would say, and then they got the corn dude right there. I wouldn't mind this. I think Sam is probably fine. That 3-point shot isn't gonna go away, at least hopefully speaking. But as far as the Luke dude, I'd much rather than go out there and maybe get a Nerlens Noel, somebody like that. Just a little something different, man. A little something different, just in case Robert Williams goes out with injury. Y'all got Blake Griffin too, so yeah, a little bit more beef up there, bro. In that center position would be nice. All right, we got the Brooklyn Nets. Where is the biggest front court need? Well, Claxton's been pretty solid on the season. I think he's leading the NBA in field goal efficiency. Once again, you just got to add the players. Nobody's going out there saying y'all got to get Miles Turner or anybody like that, man. But, if you can straight up, once again, get a Nerlens Noel or somebody like that, that would definitely help this team out a lot. You just, you want those bodies there just in case, having that reassurance is very important. Here we got the Charlotte Hornets. What's the right price at the deadline and in free agency for PJ Washington? I would say PJ Washington, I've always been a big fan of his. I feel like for that power forward position, he definitely does what you want him to do out there, man, as far as stretching the floor and everything. I wouldn't give an unprotected first for PJ, but I'm thinking probably some sort of protected first round pick. Probably heavily protected too, if I'm being honest, just because, you got guys like Bojan Bogdanovic that's going out there being asked for a first round pick, man. Obviously Russell Westbrook, when his name is in the market and everything like that, Miles Turner. So he's not quite a player like that, but I think protecting maybe 2 second-round picks probably could get you PJ Washington. Would love him on a team like the Miami Heat. Chicago Bulls, are we fully committed to this core, or should we pay attention to all of the external calls to blow it up? Oh, you should not be fully committed, because when it comes down to, this Bulls team, there ain't really much to commit to long term, right? This is definitely a short-term window type of team right here. Vooch ain't young, DeMar ain't young. Zach LaVine seems to kind of have maybe a disconnect with the front office. So, what's the record right now? I got pulled up over here on my other screen. Bulls right now are 10th place at 20-24. It's what's the goal? You know what I'm saying? I think this team is probably better off kind of blowing things up. It is Chicago. I think it should be a pretty big, free agent destination, everything like that. But then again, I guess years past, not so much. But, yeah, man, I think it's time to maybe blow it up a little bit. We got the Cleveland Cavaliers. Who will fill the small forward void? So I've been hearing names like Sadiq Bey, Isaac Okoro. I just don't really think he's that guy for this team or anything. But, yeah, I mean, if you can go out there and get you a small forward that doesn't do too much, you want a guy that can knock down the shots, play a little bit of defense, which probably ain't Bojan in that case then. But, yeah, man, I just think they need maybe a little bit more veteran leadership there, something like that. That'd be kind of nice, but we'll kind of see all about that. All right, we got the Dallas Mavericks. How do we ease the burden of Luka? I mean, see, this is such a sensitive topic, I know, when it comes to the Dallas Mavericks and the fan base and everything like that. Maybe not so much the fan base. I know Mark Cuban got kind of mad about something that went on with this type of topic right here. I mean, it doesn't really matter who you bring to this team. When Luka's that talented, he's going to be putting up those numbers. It's right now, the way that the offense is orchestrated, it's very much like the Houston Rockets, James Harden hero ball days. And, like, Luka has the, the skill set to put up those numbers, man. I mean, I just don't think it leads to winning. So really, the way you ease the burden, you have to really reset the entire system of how this team is built. Right now, it's give the ball to Luka, surround with specialty guys. And, those specialty guys, they do their job. Christian Wood's been a fine second piece. But I think it's just kind of like, you got to really rewrite the system if you want more success and to ease that burden. Next up, you got the Denver Nuggets. Do we have enough defense to contend? I mean, you could always bring in more defensive players. When you look at this team, you're having KCP. He's a good defender. Jokic, honestly, actually isn't too bad defensively, man. Like, I know that's always like his big knockoff, but if you look at his, steals and you look at his blocks and everything like that, man, he's actually not too far off from some of the other good defensive centers in the NBA. Aaron Gordon, he has the body, he has the athleticism to be a great defensive player. Jamal Murray has the height. So I really think it comes down to coaching, and these guys got to go out there. Now, if you want to go out there and maybe get like, I don't know, like a Jared Vanderbilt or somebody like that, that would be fantastic. But, this team's going to come down to mindset. They really want it like that, man. Detroit Pistons. Can our young players keep progressing without our veteran leadership? Yeah, I would say so. I don't really see any veterans on this team that have been like this big, huge, like leadership type of role. Really what it comes down to, Cade Cunningham, I know he's a young guy and everything like that, but he has to learn to be the voice of the locker room and everything. But outside of that, like Noel, Bojan, I don't really think they're playing huge leadership roles. So, yeah, I think they'll be fine. Like, this team seems mature enough, and obviously comes down to coaching too and everything. But, yeah, they should be all right. Golden State Warriors, is front court depth a great enough need to sacrifice a long-term prospect? No. This team just needs to be healthy in general, and they'll be fine. But you already got the big body in James Wiseman. That is kind of like your potential type of guy. But, the Kevon Looney's of the world, like, Kevon Looney's a really solid center, man. Like, he plays that role perfectly. Like, perfect center for this system. I would not give up a long-term prospect. It's not worth it. We got the Houston Rockets. Is Eric Gordon, or if Eric Gordon goes, who gives guidance to the youngsters? Once again, man, like, I'm not saying that Eric Gordon's not out here, giving leadership and stuff like that, but I'm gonna guess his mind's not like too much into it. There was a quote from him a few weeks ago. I forgot what it was exactly, but he was pretty much, man, just saying like, I don't know, he said something like, yeah, this team ain't good enough or something like that, man. Kind of just being a jerk about things. So we'll see. But, yeah, I don't know if Eric Gordon's, just because you're old don't mean you gotta be a leader. That's kind of my thing with him. Indiana Pacers, have we played well enough to make buying a legitimate option? It really depends, man. It really depends. Right now, the Pacers are 23-22, right in the mix in the Eastern Conference playoffs and everything. But if I'm sitting here like trying to think about like what piece they should actually bring in and what assets it would be worth giving up, I just don't really see it, man. Like, this team is young enough. I think they should just stick with their core, progress over time. Maybe if you want to give up an asset like a Chris Duarte or somebody like that and bring somebody else in, sure, maybe. But I like the makeup of the team, and they're young enough that I wouldn't mess with that. We got the Clippers. Do we need to trade for a backup big, or can we fill that in-house or on the buyout market? I think Hassan Whiteside's still available, so somebody like that I think would be fine. I think Zubats does a good enough job there. I don't really know who's playing backup center for this team these days, man. But, when it comes down to it, like, there's names out there that I don't think you got to really give up a huge asset. Although I think the Clippers, they are a team that tends to have a little bit more depth. So maybe giving up one of those guards for another center wouldn't be the worst way to go. We got the Lakers. Are one or both of our 2027-2029 first round picks totally off limits? I wouldn't give up that. Oh, man, I don't know, because it would have to be a hell of a trade. Because you got to think about both these draft picks, 4 years, 6 years down the road. Like, LeBron's going to be long gone. Anthony Davis is going to be gone. I will say, the one thing the Lakers have going for them that maybe other teams don't is that they're the Lakers. Like, by the time 2027-2029 rolls around, the big name free agents might want to come to LA, and those picks aren't really as important. But if you think about it like this too, they signed the big name free agent LeBron James, and they drafted players, use those assets to bring in the second guy in Anthony Davis. So it's really hard to tell. Once again, it would have to be a hell of a trade. Even that, I can't really think of a player they could bring in right now that would just make this big, huge difference that would, like, make the Lakers contenders. Like, it would take a lot. We got the Memphis Grizzlies. Is this a championship level roster, or do we need one more deal to get us there? I think with how the season's going, man, right now the Grizzlies are second place at 30-13, tied with the Denver Nuggets. Yeah, I think this team's a championship team. I don't, I mean, once again, veteran leadership, they want to bring in a guy like that, maybe for the bench unit, or maybe they want to trade away Dylan Brooks or somebody like that. Sure, but I think they're pretty much there, man. Miami Heat, what's the key for unlocking our half-court offense? That's a good question, man. Yo, that's a good question. I'm not a huge fan of Kyle Lowry on the Heat, so maybe getting a different point guard, but even Kyle Lowry is, historically speaking, a good half-court setting type of offensive point guard and everything. So, I don't know, man. Like, you think the way this team's orchestrated that they would be a good half-court team. But, I mean, Bam's been killer, so I don't know, man. Maybe this kind of in a funk right now. I'm not sure. Milwaukee Bucks, will the healthy Chris Middleton solve our offensive issues? Yes. Middleton's one of the most efficient players in the NBA. He's the perfect, Robin to the Batman of Giannis. He's an all-star. Like, that type of guy makes a huge difference on a Bucks team that's currently sitting at 26-16 already, third place in the conference, man. All right, we got the T-Wolves. Are we comfortable keeping D'Lo long-term, or is now the time to find his replacement? Right now, the T-Wolves are 22-23. I don't think D'Lo's been all that good this season, so his stock is definitely very low. I wouldn't just get rid of him for anything, so I think I would probably hang on to him. I don't know, because I think he's on an expiring deal too, isn't he, man? I would have put his name out there. I would put his name out there with Rudy Gobert. maybe, man. Oh, that would be disastrous if they traded Rudy Gobert after giving him all that stuff for him. Is Jax Hayes a keeper, or is the best time to move for a shooter? Yeah, I would get rid of him. He just don't really fit the Pelicans team. New York Knicks, can we sniff out a star? You already did with Jalen Brunson, man. Knicks right now, where are they sitting at? They have a record of 25-20, 7-3 in their last 10 games. Once again, depends what you're giving up. Like, I wouldn't give up any of the core players that have been dominating for this team. I think, building a foundation, building a team that a free agent's excited to come to, in the offseason, I think is probably the best route. OKC Thunder, should we actually consider any rebuild accelerating trade, or is it still about the future? I think it's still about the future, man. I mean, you got Chet coming back next season. Maybe if Victor Wembanyama joins the team, who knows? So, yeah, I don't think this is the season to really accelerate anything, because I don't think there's any trade that's going to happen that is going to accelerate anything, and it's best to just take that chance, on getting Victor. Shay's already signed long-term. Y'all be fine, man. Orlando Magic, how many guards are part of our long-term plans? This is the question I've been asking for a long time. I do not have that answer. I mean, Markelle Fultz, I like Markelle Fultz. He has injury concerns. So does Cole Anthony. So does Jalen Suggs. Out of those three, I probably like Markelle Fultz the best, but he also is the biggest risk factor for injury. So I'm not really sure, man. 76ers, can Matisse Thybulle help us, or should we be shopping him around? His name has been shopped around for about a year now, so I'm cool if they have to trade him away. That's fine. Phoenix Suns, what exactly are we trying to get in an overdue Jay Crowder trade? At this point, I'll take a damn second rounder, bro. Portland Trailblazers, should we try unprotecting the protection on the pick? We owe Chicago, or are we all worried about regressing? Y'all can bring another player, man. Trade that pick. Trade that pick, man. Kings, how much are we worried about our backup center spots? Once again, I think there's enough big guys out there that are vets that you could bring it if you're that worried. Like, I wouldn't make a trade. San Antonio Spurs, is there any chance for we resign Jakob Poeltl, or are we just waiting for the market to maximize our return? It's time to trade him. Yeah, he's, like 28, 29. There's a lot of contenders out there that will probably pay a pretty penny for him, man. I'll trade him away. Toronto, is resetting or at least retooling on the table? Hey, that's a team I like going for Jakob. I think right now they are sitting at a record of 20-24. It's close enough in the Eastern Conference that I think I would retool before I reset. I would retool before I reset with the Toronto Raptors. Utah Jazz, how much selling is too much selling? I mean, I would maybe trade away like a Mike Conley. Jordan Clarkson, I don't think he's going to return to the team. So, even if you want to get rid of him, I mean, you got to be realistic with the expectations. The team's not going to win a championship. So, if there's guys that don't want to be around there long term, ship their asses away, man. We got the Washington Wizards. Man, I made this whole video without swearing, bro. Man. All right, I'm going to get demonetized now. Washington Wizards, is Kyle Kuzma a better player or a trade chip? You don't want to be Washington long-term man. Trade him away. He is a good player, but you don't want to be there, so trade him away, man. That's all we got for this video. What you all think, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.